Every day, tens of thousands of people around the world stop what they're doing and read one double-sided page of an ancient text. Although they may be separated by distance, language, age, and life circumstance, everyone reads the same page each day, weekends and holidays included. And they do this daily ritual for 7.5 years. Why volunteer to devote around 2,700 consecutive days to such a massive undertaking? The answer is Daf Yomi. Let's rewind to August 1923. Mayor Shapiro, a 36-year-old rabbi from Poland, is at a conference with hundreds of Jewish religious leaders from around the world, and he has a great idea. Rabbi Shapiro proposes a daily program in which Jews around the world would read and study the same one double-sided page of the Talmud, the Hebrew and Aramaic text that informs Jewish law, ethics, and customs. He chooses the name Daf Yomi as the phrase means page of the day in Hebrew. His goal is to encourage people to study all parts of the Talmud and to unify Jewish people around the world. In his pitch to the other delegates, Rabbi Shapiro says,
"What a great thing! Could there be greater unity of hearts than this?"
The other religious leaders at the conference love his idea, and the first Daf Yomi begins the next month in September of 1923. Tens of thousands of Jews participate, and when they finish reading all 2,700 plus pages of the Talmud, they celebrate in Poland, Jerusalem, Philadelphia, and Baltimore with the very first siyum, a celebration to mark the end of Daf Yomi. Today, tens of thousands of Jews continue Daf Yomi, which has been called the world's biggest and longest-running Jewish book club. Participants have plenty of options. They can devote 45 minutes to an hour to solo study and supplement their study by reading relevant summaries and commentaries online, receiving weekly study sheets via email, or listening to podcasts. Most people who decide to dedicate themselves to Daf Yomi find themselves on a journey of learning and discovery. Many participants find seemingly unrelated connections between the ancient text and their modern daily lives. In 2012, Sal Litvak of Accidental Talmudist completed Daf Yomi and marked the accomplishment by attending the siyum at New Jersey's MetLife Stadium. The 93,000 people who showed up celebrated with song, dance, and prayer. Today, Sal and his wife Nina share Jewish wisdom with more than 1 million people on the Accidental Talmudist Facebook page. We asked Sal for his advice about undertaking Daf Yomi and how the experience has impacted him.
I think it's for everybody. I think that there's a sense that Daf Yomi is for men and it's for older men. And women in the Jewish tradition are not obligated to study in the same way that men are. But I firmly believe that learning Torah, and that's what this essentially is, right? It's studying scripture at a deeper level, and it is for everybody. That I had less time available for prayer. When I started doing Daf Yomi, it was an hour a day of study, of learning, and I mean, there's just so many hours in a day, and so very often the study and learning would replace the prayer. And in fact, at a certain point during my Daf Yomi journey, I was thinking, I have not been praying with that kind of depth and intensity in a long time. Is this good for me? Is Daf Yomi something I really should be doing? But I'm glad I stayed with it because ultimately the tradition became so much more alive for me. And generally speaking, having this wisdom in my life overall did deepen my prayer practice, and so it was worth it. Each time we finish a tractate, a volume of the Talmud, there would be a little siyum ceremony. Sometimes we'd have a little meal. The proper way is to have a celebratory meal. But at the very least, when we would come to the end of a tractate, there's some prayers that you say, basically of gratitude and also connecting with our sages and how they would finish a course of study. And basically we would ask God that these words which have now entered me, and I've spent the last month or 2 or 3 months studying them, may they remain with me. Accidental Talmudist on Facebook. That's where our real big community is. If you're not on Facebook, the way to plug into us is accidentaltalmudist.org.
Thanks for sharing, Sal. As for Daf Yomi, the current program, the 13th cycle of Daf Yomi, will end on January 4th, 2020, and the 14th cycle will begin the very next day.